Hey, welcome back, guys. As part of the previous session, we have seen a brief overview on a for loop. So let us see, a overview on a while loop as part of the today's session. Okay, so here, let me add a comment. Syntax for while loop. See, guys, one thing that you need to know here is irrespective of the loops, the objective is one and the same to perform a certain activity repeatedly. So here, the for loop is having a different syntax and the while loop is having a different syntax. For the while loop, you will specify the condition. If the condition outcome is true, then only this logic will execute. So guys, I think I forgot to add a one small point here for the for loop. Let me copy the basic for loop. Okay, let me paste it again, the basic for loop and uncomment it. So consider that if my value here, I have a defined my I as, okay, so here if I define my I as a 101, 101 less than 100, this condition isn't satisfied at all, right? If you remember, when the condition is satisfied, then only it will enter the loop and it will perform the operations. If the condition isn't satisfied, it will not enter the loop, it will not perform the operation. That's what the for loop does, right? And also, there is a concept of infinite loops here, guys. In the loops, we have an infinite loop concept. So, what exactly this infinite loop means? Performing the action repetitively. Okay, so ideally, whenever you wrote an improper logic, right, that will go into an infinite loop. So consider that here the value is a true. So I'm not giving any condition. By default, the outcome is a true. So what it's gonna happen when I run this particular program? Okay, let me save it. And when I run this particular program, if you look at the console, see the program is a keep on executing. Okay, the program itself is a keep on executing. So that itself is an issue. Okay, so here when you open this here, next to the play button there is a stop button that it is showing it up, so which means buddy, I am not able to stop. The execution itself isn't stopped, you have to stop it. So that's what the meaning of this particular chunk is. Okay, so there is a no end for that. That itself is an infinite loop. So you should break it, you should define it in an appropriate way, and you should define it with an appropriate conditions. If at all you are not defining it in an appropriate way, definitely it's gonna be an infinite loop. The similar way for the while loop also, the condition is the critical thing. If the condition got satisfied, then it will enter the loop and perform the operations until the condition got a fail. If the condition itself isn't true, it will not perform that operations. So where x equal to 1, while my x is less than or equal to 5, console.log of x. Okay, so guys, if you observe this situation, guys, again this is an infinite loop. The reason is my x value is a 1 here in line number 8. As per line number 8, my x value is 1. In line number 9, 1 is less than or equal to 5. The condition is true, it's printing it. Again, it will go and it will check the condition. The condition is true and it will print it. There is no end for that. So that's the reason here you need to define x plus plus, which means after printing it, increment my x value by 1. So now x becomes a 2. Now 2 less than or equal to 10. Again, it prints, it increments by 1, and then it performs this operation again. So when I run this program this time, it will be printing. Save it. So there is an issue in saving this. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the values are got printed down to the console. Okay, so this is the way how exactly you can handle this while loop. Okay, so a while loop with a particular condition, you can define it and you can print as many values as you want. And of course, guys, if you remember, as part of the previous session, we have used a for loop in printing down the even numbers, right? Let us see, using a for loop, let us see the same logic of printing even numbers from 1 to 100 using this while loop. The logic itself is differ, but the implementation is if x module by 2 is equal to 0, console.log, that's an even number. Okay, that's an even number. That's it, guys. That's what we were printing it. My x value itself is a 1, and here this loop will work until it reaches to 100. Inside the loop, we are putting the condition. This same condition we placed it inside the for loop. The same condition we are placing it here within this particular chunk. So when I run this particular program, okay, save, run. So when I run this particular program, all the values would be printed down to the console. So this is the way how exactly you can define it. Okay, this is the way how exactly you can define it. So you can define you can define an infinite loop also. Perfect. So this is all about a while loop. And along with the while loops, we have a do while loop also. So come back to this while basic program, and here if while my x value is a 10. Okay, my x value is a 10. So what is happening? 10 less than or equal to 5. The condition itself isn't true. As the condition itself isn't true, it doesn't perform any operations. If you remember, for the while or a for loop, anything, it is checking the condition first. If the condition itself isn't satisfied, it will not perform any further operations. Okay, perfect. And the next one out over there that we need to know here is a do while loop. The syntax for this do while is a completely differ. So the do will, the do will execute the logic, and at the end it will check the condition. So, Surendra, how exactly we can distinguish between a while loop and as well as a do while loop? So, consider this example while and a do while. This example. So, consider that you are entering into a college compound. Okay, the entry gate is a broader gate. Okay, the entry gate is a broader gate. So, in the entry gate, no one is checking your ID card, but whenever you are entering into the campus or whenever you are entering into the class, that itself people are checking your ID card. So here the first phase they are leaving you, and in the second phase they are checking the condition. One entry is being passed, you may go to the class or you may go to the cafeteria or any other things without having an ID card. Whereas the while loop example is in the entrance itself they are checking your ID card. Without ID card, you can't even go to the campus. Without that, you can't even go to the cafeteria or any other things. So while is an entry checked. Okay, entry checked. While this is an exit checked. Okay, so this is an exit check basically. So at the end, basically, it will be checking that condition. Okay, it will be checking that condition. So what it will happen with the do while? With the do while, by default, for the very first time, it will execute the logic, and if the condition is true, then it will go for the second time and it will continue the logic. That's it. Okay, so where do here, okay, do here console.log, okay, do here console.log while x is less than or equal to 5. That's it. Okay, so when I run this particular program, if you observe, okay, so what happened? Okay, so my x value is 10. This condition is a false. Still, it entered and it printed this particular value here. Okay, it entered and it just printed that particular value here. So my x is a 5 itself, and here the do while, before a do while I declared my x as a 1. So do by default it will execute it and it will increment it. My x becomes 11 right now. 11 less than or equal to 15. The condition isn't a false. The condition isn't satisfied. Hence it will not proceed with the further execution. Okay, so the ultimate point here is that depending on your need, you will be using whether a for loop, whether a while loop, or a do while loop. Either of these loops we can use it, but the ultimate purpose is one and the same. Okay, thank you. Bye bye.